What's up, Vivants? It's Christmas time, and you asked for a few recommendations on holiday gifts, and I'm here to give them to you. So, I'm going to apologize in advance for this situation because I made this cute little sign, and then I realized that by flipping the camera so that I could actually see what I'm doing, this would then be in reverse. So, you get the idea. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm actually going to be doing this in a few different parts because there's a lot to cover. I felt like there were a lot of different kinds of gifts that you could get for someone who's a wine lover or even put on your own list. So I wanted to first start with something I talked about a few weeks ago, which is the REPOUR wine saver. So we're going to start with a little experiment to see how that did. And I've got that same bottle right here. You guys might remember this is the Mirago et Rosso. I tasted this wine. I put this on top of it, and it allegedly saves your wine for up to 4 weeks. It has been just shy of that, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. And thought I would get a little more of a hiss, but I didn't. But I do smell wine, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in the glass and see how it did. I am skeptical, but the deal with this is there's little, I don't know what you would call them, like silicone gels in the top of here that are supposed to absorb the oxygen, not only from on top of the bottle, but from the actual wine itself. So I'm very curious to see how this did. I remember how this tasted. It was great. This was a $15 Friday wine. It was like so perfectly high in acid and balanced and beautiful. It actually smells pretty good. Let's see. It's still got a lot of the same smoky kind of like overturned forest floor kind of situation going on. Well, shit. That's pretty freaking good. I have to say, I was not expecting it to actually be pretty good, and it's still got acid and brightness and lift. I would say maybe it's just like slightly more muted than it was before. I'm just gonna move this. Wow, I'm really impressed. REPOUR, you now have my seal of approval, and you find this on my Christmas list in a few days when I talk about my stocking stuffer gifts. So that's a little prequel. I just wanted to see how that did, and wow, cool. Well, there's one. But today really, I'm gonna actually step on this. Today really what we're gonna be talking about is books, because I like reading. I really enjoy reading, but I don't have a lot of time to read. So I'm very particular about what it is that I read, and I do a lot of research trying to figure out what I think makes sense in my own life, what is valid, what is relevant. There's a lot of wine books out there. There's a lot of crap out there, and I've tried to sift through based on things that I've read, things that I know, and then other trusted friends that read these books as well, to try to figure out what it is that you guys should be reading. So I will get started with that. So the first one that I want to talk about is actually a book that I think for the first time in my life, I ever did one of those pre-orders on Amazon, and that was the John Bonnet New Wine Rules book. Now, I will say, I really like John Bonnet. I think he's great. I think he's a very good writer. He's a very interesting writer. But occasionally he's a little bit contradictory, which I don't enjoy so much. That said, I think this New Wine Rules book is an awesome, awesome little easy wine book to give. I think it's like $15. I'm sure it's less than that on Amazon. And oh, I should also mention everything that I'm going to talk about, you're going to be able to get on Amazon, because let's face it, holidays are busy. I'm busy. I live in a very small town that doesn't have a lot of access to things. So Amazon is very important to me. So all of these products, all of these books that I'm going to be talking about, all going to be in the links below in just a few minutes after I finish this live video. So keep sipping on this. It's delicious. Seriously, I cannot believe it actually worked, but I digress. This is great, and I actually pinpointed a couple little things about why I think this is great. It's basically just a guide, very easy, kind of takes you through the different rules of wine, the do's and the don'ts, in a really easy, approachable way. So I kind of thumbnailed a few things that I thought were interesting. He takes you through the common wine faults, so corked wine versus cooked wine versus oxidized, and really kind of breaks that down for you in this book here. It's very simple, it's very easy to read, you just kind of flip through it. I also really liked that he talked about, God, I feel like Oprah right now, except, you know, way less famous. Learn the importers of your favorite wines, understand the difference between importer and distributor. Very, very valid information. I think that is something that I talk about a lot with like things like Kermit Lynch and Terry Teese, understanding the difference between importers and distributors and how they can affect your wine selection. And sometimes that's maybe all you need to make a choice in the store. Sometimes all you need is to know that, hey, Kermit Lynch imported this wine, there's probably going to be some sort of quality associated with it. So I think it's a really good rule. Of course, I don't love rules when it comes to wine. I think there really shouldn't be too many rules. I think it should be a lot easier than that. But yeah, it talks about like wine glass stems are there for a reason, use them. What else is really interesting? Keep a clean, empty half bottle around. Excellent, excellent advice. I never thought to do this, but yes, if you are drinking a half bottle and you finish that half bottle, because why wouldn't you? Just save it, rinse it out, and keep it around in case you don't finish the bottle. Maybe don't have this little re-pour thing, because a half bottle obviously is smaller. So if you've got half of a 750 and you pour that into a half bottle, that means less oxygen is going to be affecting the wine, which means more preservation time. So excellent rules. I think this is a great little handy guidebook for not a lot of money. So, and it's cute. It's pink. The new wine rules. I really like how they did this. So kind of a really fun book. So we'll start with that. Second book I have talked about before on my Instagram. I adore this book, and whenever somebody asks me my recommendations, how to become a somm, I want to know more about wine, what do I do, this is 100% always the book that I recommend, because I think she did such a great job at storytelling, and I think she's a great writer. So Bianca Bosker, Cork, Dork, amazing book, really good read, really deep dives into not only our side of the wine world, the hospitality side, but also your side of the wine world, what it's like to start learning wine, all of the obstacles that one would encounter, what's fun about it, what's not fun about it, where she felt like her weak points were. It was a lot of talking about other people in the wine industry, lots of different things. And I think she did it in a way that I think is great, which is she tells a great story. She goes from start to finish, from starting as a tech writer, an online tech writer for a blog, to the day that she took her first sommelier exam. So I think this is a great way for someone to explore the wine world, get your feet wet, and really understand it before you make that plunge. Because if you're thinking about getting into wine and you're thinking that you want to learn more about wine, why not read about someone who did it? And it's a real account of what happened. I actually ended up in a blind tasting class with Bianca back in the day when she was first starting. We didn't know what she was doing. She was just kind of sitting there taking notes, and there was only like 8 of us in the class, and we're like, what are you doing? And flash forward like a year and a half later, and this book comes out. So I will vouch for Bianca and say, not that she needs my endorsement, but I think this is a great book, and another really easy like $15 book that you can pick up on Amazon. So number 2. Number 3 is, where do I start with this? So as you all probably know, my name on YouTube and Instagram is Bon Vivant. It is not sommelier. It is not just about wine. It is living life like a bon vivant. And what is a bon vivant? Well, a bon vivant is a person who enjoys life, food, culture, dining, travel, all things related to living a wonderful life. And there is no better example, and I mean that wholeheartedly, there is no better example of that, and has never been a better example of that than Mr. Jim Harrison. So Jim Harrison, if you were unfamiliar, he was a writer, very famous author, who wrote Legends of the Fall. That was kind of his big thing that got him into Hollywood, which of course was turned into a film. Anyway, he was a writer from Michigan who loved food, loved wine, loved culture, and who I admire immensely, and who I wouldn't say I try to emulate. He definitely took it to the extreme. He did not live a modest life when it came to indulging, but he loved life, and he had his own opinions on things like food and wine, and I love Jim. And this is called A Really Big Lunch, the roving gourmand on food and life, and it's a compilation of different articles and letters, and it's a really beautiful read. It's an easy read that you can just kind of like flip through, and it's kind of inspiring if you are someone that loves food and wine the way that I do. It's kind of fun to read about his perceptions of the wine and food world. He, of course, did write for a few wine and food publications. One of my favorite quotes, and sort of this always resonates me, he, of course, was a lover of food and wine, like I've said. He is quoted as saying in this book, "Whenever life begins to crush me, I know I can rely on Bandel, garlic, and Mozart. This pleasure in geologic time is no more evanescent than life herself." I just think that's great, and I think he is wonderful. And he unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but his books live on, and I'm not going to deep dive into why I love Jim Harrison, but I will say if you are a Bon Vivant and you love all the things that I love, I really think that you're going to enjoy this. Now, if you are a sensitive soul and offended easily and will be offended by foul language and some rather graphic images, or imagery, I should say, don't pick it up. It will offend you. He is slightly offensive and uses a lot of vulgarities and language, and I think it's beautiful, and I think what he does is amazing, but it might offend some of you. So if you don't like that, don't pick it up. It's not going to be for you. But if you do, this will be a wonderful new discovery that I wholeheartedly recommend. I love him. So that is the third book, and last but not least, actually, I will take a brief pause because I forgot to talk about something in the beginning. If you are a local, if you live near Napa or near in the Bay Area, and you are looking for a way to give back, if you're looking for a way to help support the wildfire relief fund, my dear friend Karen Laz, who owns the K Laz Wine Studio in Yountville, she's amazing. She had planned on doing, she always does this tasting once a year. She did it, she was supposed to do it in October, and unfortunately it was right during the fires, and when that happened, she obviously had to reschedule. So normally that money would go towards something else, towards, I think she was doing the, it was a, I'm going to screw it up, so I'm not going to say it. But anyway, she has rescheduled that for Saturday, for this Saturday. It's $125. And not only are you giving money to an amazing fund to help all of the people that were affected by the fires, you are also getting to taste some of the most amazing wines in Napa Valley, like Abreu and Advivum, 100 Acre, Favia, Dalla Valle, Laz, her own wine. The list continues, and I think for $125, it's an awesome way to taste some wines that you might not have tasted anyway, and or might not have had the opportunity, because for $125, who would say no to that? I think it's a great deal. And then also give back, because 'tis the season for giving. So that was my little brief interruption. So back to holiday gift giving. Gosh, where do I start? Okay, so I was very excited for this book because not only do I love this subject, I love this writer, and I think it's beautiful, and I think you will think it's beautiful too. So this is Champagne. Ta-da! It's very thick to do. It's got 2 sections in it. This is by Peter Liem. Peter Liem started the champagneguide.net. He is a trusted authority in all things champagne, and he just recently, I'm going to move this, he just recently came out with this beautiful, beautiful, gosh, isn't it gorgeous? This just makes me so happy, and if you love champagne the way that I love champagne, you will definitely want this on your Christmas list, or if you know someone that loves champagne, they will want it on their Christmas list. So I give you the champagne book. Now, what is the champagne book? So champagne book is 2-pronged. So you've got the actual book part. I'm struggling with this. So you have the actual book part, which is this. It's gorgeous. It's hardback, filled with beautiful, beautiful pictures, filled with guides for all of the different regions, for all of the different producers, vintages. It really deep dives into champagne. If you are looking to up your game in that department, which champagne is a complicated subject, it's complicated terroir, he really does a great job of breaking it down. Now, I don't think that this book is great for a novice. I don't think it's great for someone that doesn't know anything about wine, because it does go a little bit too deep if you don't have the fundamentals. That said, it is still very beautiful, and if you feel like you're on your way down that path already, pick it up. So you got this, and then you also have this other amazing part, which I love. This is so brilliant. I don't know why more people don't do this, and it was so expertly packaged. You have this little bottom tray that pulls out and has all of your champagne maps. Isn't that amazing? I love this. So this is the Larmat maps of the Champagne region. I'll just read here what it says. In the 1940s, a French publisher named Louis Larmat created I'm sure I'm butchering that name, created a series of detailed maps of France's most notable vineyard regions. The fourth in the series, published in 1944, but anyway, you get the idea. So, beautiful set of maps. You have all of these here. I'm not going to open them because this is actually not my book. On my Christmas list, so I didn't purchase it for myself. I borrowed it from a friend, and I'm hoping that Santa might deliver that under my tree this year. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyway, so it's not mine, so I don't want to open this, but I think if you love champagne and if you are a wine lover, this might be the book of the season to get. I think it is so beautiful, and it says the like the MSRP on here I think is like $89, but on Amazon I believe it is $59. Don't quote me, but it's somewhere around $60. And beautiful, it's big, not too big, perfect for like that coffee table book. So if you're like, I don't know, maybe it's too big, maybe it might be too much of a deep dive for Sarah, who isn't quite there yet, think of it as something to work towards. So 18 days till Christmas, friends. Isn't that exciting? It doesn't feel like Christmas yet. It kind of like, I know it's going to creep up, and I'm not quite ready for it. So anyway, I'll recap right now. So you've got the Champagne book by Peter Liem. I'm sorry for the shakiness. This situation is a little weird. I'm going to try to figure that out. Champagne book by Peter Liem. Jim Harrison's A Really Big Lunch, because if you are Bon Vivant, there is no better book for you. Dork by Bianca Bosker. My favorite read and favorite recommend for anyone that is looking to get into the wine industry or just loves wine in general. And last but not least, John Bonet, The New Wine Rules. Ta-da! Turn these around so you can see what I'm talking about for one last time. Like I said, this is only part one. There are more parts coming, and they are going to range from the splurge to the inexpensive stocking stuffer, probably like the REPOUR, which is a little sneak peek. And if you are just joining us, if you've been like back and forth and you're like, oh, she's live, I should check in, what's up? The REPOUR went awesome. I'm so excited about this. I'm genuinely surprised. I really did not think it would work. I think mostly because it's such a simple concept. Why wouldn't someone have come up with it before? I don't know. But the wine is still very much intact. I do want to see how this progresses. I want to see if, like, once it's been open, if it goes down a deep dark path a little bit faster. I don't know, but right now I'm really enjoying it. And if you didn't see me talk about this wine, make sure you check out that $15 Friday where I did the Etna Rosso, which is 100% Nerello Moscalese. Anyway, that has been a wonderful episode, I think, of Holiday Gift Giving Part 1 live. And if you're wondering why I'm going live so much lately, it's because it's really fun for me, and I like being live. I like that I get to be a little bit more off the cuff. I can't edit myself, and hopefully it allows you to see a side of me that is a little bit more authentic, more myself, and I don't know, it's just a little bit more fun. And that's really what it comes down to. I'm really sorry. Every time I move this freaking table, like, it goes crazy. I will see you all in a few days with another holiday gift-giving guide. Until then, I wish you sanity during this holiday season. Make sure you drink wine, not too much. Stay hydrated, because that's important. And remember, it's not about finding the perfect gift for someone else. It's about the thought, and it's about being thankful for what you have. And if you happen to be in the area and would like to attend this event at Karen Laz's studio in Yountville, I will be there let me know if you're going to be there. And if you are, I hope to see you then. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye-bye. Yes, I want to end. Bye.